1984 Pontiac Fiero 2M4. Brought to you by the people who build excitement. It's more than just another pretty face. That's because it's been designed to deliver a range of features and benefits that make it one of the most exciting cars on the road today. The product presentations you're about to see go a long way in demonstrating Fiero's most innovative features. But as exciting as these presentations are, nothing compares with the real thing. So always be sure to let your customers experience Pontiac excitement firsthand. Offer to let them take a test drive. You'll probably find it to be the most effective part of your sales presentation.
Imagine, just for a minute, that you have been invited to design your own version of the ideal personal car. A car you could afford to own, operate, and maintain. A car you'd be proud to be seen in. A car so exciting that you'd find yourself taking the long way home. That's an exciting idea. And a team of Pontiac people were given just that opportunity. Here's the car they came up with. Pontiac Fiero 2M4. It's a two-seater with a mid-engine electronic fuel-injected L4. That's why the 2, M, 4. And while this chassis may not look like your idea of a dream car, to Pontiac engineers it couldn't be better looking. Of course, everyone knows that beauty is more than skin deep, and with Fiero this was never truer. When designing the Fiero, Pontiac engineers started out with a list of very specific objectives and developed a car expressly to fit the bill. You might say that they began with a driver and designed the car around him. The first need on their list was for absolute quality, which was designed into the very heart of this car. To help provide a high level of fit and finish, engineers developed what they have termed the space frame concept. This space frame, or chassis, functions as the structural body of the car. The exterior skin panels are then attached to these mounting pads in a unique manufacturing process developed especially for Fiero. Only after the entire body frame is assembled are the holes for attaching the exterior panels drilled. The entire structure is placed in a large mill and drill machine. The holes are simultaneously drilled into the small mounting pads, and these pads are milled down to the correct height. Because these holes are always drilled in the same relative position on the space frame, the body panels always fit exactly right. Corrosion resistance is also important to quality. After the body frame is drilled, it is completely dipped in a protective primer. This helps keep rust from forming beneath Fiero's body panels. Another way Fiero's unique space frame contributes to overall quality is by operating as a totally drivable chassis. It can be driven, tested, adjusted, and tuned long before the interior and exterior trim are added. In this way, fit and finish needs are isolated from the functional demands of the assembly process. Fiero's quality appearance is protected and preserved. Still, there are other equally important considerations. Pontiac service engineers were in on the design from the beginning, and their priority was to keep maintenance and repair procedures simple. The exterior body panels, for example, are relatively easy to replace because they're not structurally part of the car body or space frame. The radiator lines and exhaust pipes, which are exposed to the corroding forces of water and road salt, are constructed of stainless steel. This adds to Fiero's durability. The engine configuration offers another example of service engineering. Although mid-engine may sound complicated, you can see that the engine compartment is readily accessible for typical maintenance procedures. And for major servicing, The entire engine cradle and powertrain assembly can be conveniently removed from below. As for the engine, it's nothing less than the 2.5-liter L4 with electronic fuel injection. A proven performer, this engine is now equipped with high-tech swirl port cylinder heads for improved combustion. This port design causes the air-fuel mixture to enter the combustion chamber on a spiral path. The resulting motion allows for smoother, faster burning, so that both fuel economy and performance are enhanced. This engine can be matched to a choice of transmissions. Two versions of the standard 4-speed manual are offered, one with a 3.32 final drive ratio for responsive low-end performance, and the other with a 2.42 final drive for impressive fuel efficiency. When either version of the manual transmission is ordered, a special upshift light is standard. At optimum engine speeds, this light automatically signals the driver to shift into a higher gear, helping to maximize fuel economy. Naturally, a 3-speed automatic transmission is also available. It has a 3.19 final drive ratio and is matched to a lock-up torque converter clutch for efficient highway cruising. Of course, fuel efficiency is also affected by the exterior shape of the car. Fiero's lean profile is the key to its exceptional aerodynamic characteristics and a 0.377 drag coefficient. Airflow is also important because it affects engine cooling, wind noise, and even road performance dynamics. All of these considerations were incorporated into the ultimate style of Fiero's wedge shape. A more remarkable aspect of this car's appearance, however, lies in its unique body panels, which are made of a synthetic resin compound called Enduraflex. Since they aren't metal, they can't rust. And because the lower body panels are resilient, they can actually absorb dings and minor impacts without damage. How's that for your ideal car? As for the quality of the finish, Fiero employs a paint process that is truly state-of-the-art. First, body panels are primed and then wet sanded to eliminate all blemishes prior to painting. Once dry, these panels are sprayed with a base color coat in an electrostatic application that represents the latest in paint quality technology. The body panels for each car are painted together as a unit, and approximately 50 sets of these panels are painted in a single batch before the color is changed, as an extra measure to assure consistent paint color. The next step is the application of a flexible clear coat. This helps protect the paint finish while giving it a deep, lustrous sheen. To guard these painted panels from dirt or handling damage, a special carrier delivers them to the end of the assembly line, where they arrive just in time for installation. Obviously, Pontiac engineers designed a number of important benefits into Fiero. Benefits that you may well have been looking for: quality construction, fit and finish, serviceability, responsive low-end pickup, impressive fuel economy, efficient aerodynamic styling, and body panels that are both rust-proof and ding-resistant. Still, there were two more features on Pontiac's list of must-haves. Features that are not as easy to define or measure as the others. First is the need for a special look. A look that is sporty, stunning, and unmistakably Pontiac. Second is the need for a car that moves and handles as if it's part of the road, with a one-on-one intensity that can only be measured by driving on your own favorite turf. Every Fiero is outfitted with rack and pinion steering, a fully independent suspension, a front stabilizer bar and carefully selected spring rates, four-wheel power disc brakes with aluminum calipers, and the feature that ultimately characterizes its streetwise personality: Fiero's unique road stance. With mid-engine weight distribution and a wide front and rear track, Fiero's handling and cornering finesse bring a whole new meaning to point A to point B driving. Pontiac feels that the Fiero is exactly the car they set out to design, because it makes the idea of getting someplace incidental to the act of driving. The way Pontiac sees it, there are only two types of people in the world: those who prefer to take the long way home and those who haven't driven a Fiero yet. At Pontiac, we build excitement. It's called Fiero.
Sure looks like a sports car. I wonder what kind of mileage it gets.
It sure looks expensive. I wonder how much it costs.
As a Pontiac salesperson, you'll be hearing a lot of questions about how Pontiac's new mid-engine two-seat Fiero compares with other cars on the market. Naturally, when prospects come to you, you'll want to have the right answers. Fiero prospects will be coming from a variety of backgrounds. Maybe they've owned a Triumph, MG, or Fiat X19 before. Maybe they've been looking at Mazda RX-7s or Datsun 280ZXs. Or maybe they're just interested in something that's fuel efficient and a bit sporty, something along the lines of a Honda Prelude or Ford EXP. The truth is, Fiero is not like any of these cars, really. So let's take a look at how it's unique. Fiero represents the latest in advanced engineering and aerodynamic design and brings a whole new meaning to the concept of personal transportation. Here we see a fair sampling of the competitive cars in the market. In general, the Fiero is priced more than EXP or Nissan Pulsar NX and less than RX-7 or 280ZX. That's based on 1983 manufacturer's suggested retail prices. Both of these higher-priced cars offer a bit more muscle, but relatively poorer fuel economy. Fiero and the 1983 Pulsar NX offer higher EPA estimated mileage ratings than the other 1983 cars represented here. But an engine comparison shows that Fiero has more of what it takes. A 2.5-liter L4 with electronic fuel injection, putting out higher horsepower than Pulsar's 1.6-liter engine.
You know, there is a lot to be said for the quality of foreign cars. Just look at how these body panels fit together and the paint finish.
There's a lot to be said about service costs, too, and corrosion resistance. What's it going to cost to keep these cars going and looking good?
Good questions. Ones your prospects also may be asking. Pontiac's Fiero was designed with easy serviceability in mind. More importantly, Fiero's fit and finish is designed to be comparable to its best competitors, with a state-of-the-art manufacturing process that enhances quality inside and out. As for corrosion, all of the other models are subject to the unsightly surface rust that over the years can detract from their beauty and resale value. Fiero, on the other hand, features Enduroflex body panels. They aren't metal, so they can't rust. And beneath the skin, the entire chassis is coated with a special corrosion-resistant primer. Even the exhaust system is stainless steel. So Fiero keeps up its good looks and its value for a long time.
I want a car that looks good on the inside. After all, that's where I'm going to be. This car looks a bit plain. But this other one is sort of gaudy.
What's important is how you feel in the driver's seat. A true sporty interior should make the driver feel in control.
The Pontiac Fiero was designed to directly answer the concerns of typical new car buyers, with tasteful styling and plenty of standard features. Along with its competitors, Fiero offers full instrumentation, reclining bucket seats, a sport console, a remote fuel filler door, and some other handy features. The real difference, however, lies not in the individual items, but rather in how they're all put together. Fiero offers a driving environment to please the most discriminating people, with easy-to-read gauges, easy-to-reach controls, and high contour bucket seats for good driver positioning. A comparison of available features is also worthwhile. Tilt steering, an important comfort feature in any car, was not offered for the 1983 Mazda RX-7, Datsun 280ZX, or Ford EXP. And while all models offer a variety of stereo options, Fiero positions the rear speakers in a very practical place, inside the headrests. These are all things you should point out to prospects who are shopping Fiero and its competitors.
Well, what about roominess? The extra leg room provided by some of the longer sports cars can make a real difference in comfort.
I've heard that smaller cars can be easier to maneuver.
Don't let your prospects be deceived by appearances. Although Fiero has the shortest overall length, it actually offers as much legroom and headroom as the much longer 1983 280ZX. As for wheelbase length, which can affect driving comfort, Fiero's is within 2 inches of any car here and longer than the Datsuns. Here's another interesting fact. Fiero is wider than any of the other 83 models shown here, which says a lot for its unique road stance.
I wonder how these cars compare out on the road. What's the point in spending good money on any car if it's not going to be fun to drive?
I suppose you're right, but that Datsun is priced substantially more than these other cars. I mean, how much fun can we afford?
Fun certainly is a hard commodity to measure. Sometimes it helps your prospects when you compare the mechanical features which determine a car's ride and handling characteristics. All these cars feature fully independent suspensions and rack and pinion steering. Only Fiero and 280ZX have standard four-wheel disc brakes, an important performance feature which was not even available for the 1983 Mazda RX-7 or Ford EXP. Fiero also features a mid-engine design which complements its wide body stance for impressive cornering ability and a stable road feel. If your prospects are serious about owning a car that's fun to drive, have them try a Fiero out on the road. Then invite them to go ahead and drive the competition and let their hearts decide. After all, that's really the only way to choose a car that's right, by driving it. And it's the best way to sell Fiero. Of course, there is one other Fiero advantage you might want to mention. It has to do with the rust-proof Enduraflex body panels. They flex.
Wow, can you imagine what that will do for wayward shopping carts?
Yeah, since these lower body panels resist dings and rust, a Fiero could keep its looks up for a long, long time.
Right.
Invite your prospects to take a closer look at the Pontiac Fiero. After all, when it comes to the competition, there really isn't much.
Simplicity. It's the secret to the most timeless designs. An art by which form follows function, in a style that is at once pleasing and practical. This secret is revealed in Pontiac's Fiero 2M4. Styling is simple, clean. Flush headlamps retract into hood lines that are engineered for aerodynamic efficiency, but styled with a sculptor's flair. Symmetry is dramatized by design accents that characterize Fiero and Fiero SE. Detailing is uncomplicated, tasteful, and purposeful. But Fiero's good looks feature an important difference. They're protected from the elements. Enduraflex body panels are rust-proof and ding-resistant for lasting beauty. Of course, the best designs accommodate the driver as well as the designer, with attention to basic creature comforts. Fiero's bucket seats are designed with firm lumbar support for long-range comfort and lateral restraint for optimum driver positioning. Roominess is also important to comfort. Fiero carries two people in style, with headroom, legroom, and hip room that is comparable to many larger cars. Room for the essentials is also essential. Fiero's cargo space is shaped to be especially usable, whether for stowing sports gear or grocery bags. Other standard features establish Fiero's identity as a true driver's car. Full-gauge instrumentation, positioned for easy reference. A sport console with controls located for driver and passenger accessibility. A remote fuel filler door release. A dome lamp with integral map light. Side window defoggers. And a tone generator that reminds the driver to take the keys, turn off the headlamps, and disengage the parking brake. In Fiero SE, this unique driving environment is enhanced by full tinted glass, a stylish trim theme, and extra convenience touches that seem to turn up in just the right places. To set the proper driving mood, a selection of high-fidelity sound systems are offered, with choice of stereos that feature innovative headrest-mounted speakers. This intimate driving experience is further protected by the extensive use of acoustic insulation, which helps keep outside noises out. Of course, even the simplest vehicles must meet basic road performance expectations. Nimble handling and energy efficiency are equally important to the discerning driver. Fiero's impressive fuel economy can be attributed to low rolling resistance tires, an aerodynamic shape, lightweight components, and a 2.5-liter swirl-port electronic fuel-injected L4 engine. This efficiency is complemented by a standard 4-speed manual transmission with overdrive, or for more responsive acceleration, an optional 4-speed with specific performance gearing offered at no extra charge. To help both transmissions maximize fuel economy, a special indicator light signals the driver to upshift at optimal engine speeds. An automatic transmission is also available for a satisfying blend of efficiency, performance, and carefree driving. Regardless of the powertrain combination, Fiero's standard handling components help raise road feel to a new art form. Rack and pinion steering, complemented by a front stabilizer bar, establish Fiero's maneuverability, and a fully independent suspension absorbs road shock at all 4 corners. Fiero SE is outfitted with a handling package that provides extra driving finesse, with a heavier stabilizer bar, stiffer spring rates, specific shock valving, and 14-inch steel-belted radials. Of course, every Fiero enjoys the unique road stance that comes from balancing the engine's weight just ahead of the rear axle. And to complete this total performance package, 4-wheel disc brakes are standard fare. To be sure, the Pontiac Fiero offers a lot more than just the basics. Its design concept is state-of-the-art, offering high-tech engineering and common-sense packaging. Even so, Pontiac realizes that the most complicated technology only has one ultimate benefit, that it can decomplicate our lives in very nice ways. That's why no matter how technically advanced or futuristic Fiero might be, it still comes down to one basic factor. That composite feature which says, this car is preeminent in the world of personal transportation. Fiero is fun. It's just that simple. Because at Pontiac, we simply build excitement.